Hey guys, Keith Engel for TGI Sports Talk. Hey, before we get started here on the NCAA playoff nonsense, football playoff nonsense. Horrible day here in East Greenbush, New York, all of upstate New York. Uh, Tuesday night, we were expecting, well, I guess Monday night, we were expecting 3 inches of snow. They kept changing it, and this morning or this afternoon, by the time it stopped, we've got over 2 feet of snow here. Big classic nor'easter hits us, not just here. So all of you that are suffering with us today, my apologies. Those of you who are in a warmer climate, God bless you. I want to talk about the playoff nonsense again. Last week I did a vlog about my advocating for a 16-team playoff. Got some very vocal response, derisive response mostly. A few people agreed with me, but the ones who were most vocal, as is the case, and it's fine because I do these vlogs to encourage feedback from you guys. So please continue to do so. Sometimes the best, I don't want to be validated. I want to invoke conversation. Now, some of the derision, I don't think anybody really agreed that this was the best format. Some people talked about the fact that only the undefeated should be considered. Only undefeated teams should be considered. Um, but then you're going to have some ranking issues and things like that. So I still see a problem with that. Some people advocated just for the 10 teams that win the conferences to get in. I'm more in line with that than I am with some of the other scenarios that I heard. It doesn't matter whether you agree with me or not. I'm trying to elicit some conversation here. So engage, and I'll engage with you. We can agree to disagree at the end of the day. Just keep it fun. This is all in fun, guys. This is sports. This isn't real life. I got a real life job that I can spend a lot of time getting upset about things. I don't want to do it here. But the NCAA now has really, to me, with the latest rankings and the last rankings before we get the final rankings Sunday, have set it up so that Florida could still get in after getting embarrassed by a horrible LSU team on Saturday in horrible fashion, losing the game basically because of a stupid unsportsmanlike penalty, throwing a shoe 30 yards down the field. But now they've been rewarded for that by falling only from the 5th spot to the 7th spot. 2 losses. They lost to Texas A&M, who is ahead of them, and they lost to now they've lost to LSU. Alabama remains number 1. They've won handily. They're going to get in no matter what. No problem with that. Notre Dame and Clemson don't play, remain at 2 and 3. I really don't have a problem with that. The loser of this game, if Clemson loses, should Florida get in over a 2-loss Clemson team, and their only 2 losses is to Notre Dame? If Florida beats Alabama, should Florida get in after losing to Texas A&M? They're going to leapfrog. They're going to leapfrog Texas A&M. They're going to leapfrog Clemson if they lose to Notre Dame. I sure hope not, but the committee's put them in position to do so. Iowa State moved up a spot, I think, from 7 to 6, and Texas A&M moved into the 5th spot. Ohio State stays in the 4th and last spot. There's debate there. They didn't play. Their game against Michigan was canceled for the first time since 1917, and now they got a game. They got the championship game against Northwestern this week, and Big Ten changed their rules, lets them in. Now, Ohio State's definitely one of the best 4 teams in the country, right? But again, the body of work is not all that impressive, guys. Their best win is against Indiana, who really gets kind of screwed in this whole scenario. The team that really gets screwed in my mind is Cincinnati. They didn't play either. Notre Dame didn't play. Clemson didn't play. They hold their spots. Iowa State doesn't play and moves up a spot. Georgia, with a very convincing win, by the way, over Missouri, moves up a couple of spots to 8. Georgia's still in contention here. Yeah, but you can't put Georgia in. They aren't even in the conference championship game. But you've dropped Cincinnati to 9th, still undefeated. Got their conference championship game against Tulsa this weekend. Again, the way this system is set up is nuts. They're giving Florida, with the worst loss that any of these top Mm, at least the top 9 teams have had. No, I got to throw Georgia out. Well, top 7 teams, right? The worst loss any of them has had to me is Florida. They're 2 losses now, and they lost to a horrible LSU team that every other team in front of them that played them has killed. Texas A&M beat them. Wasn't as close as the score. Alabama killed them. Revenge for last year. Of course, Notre Dame doesn't play him. Clemson doesn't play him. Ohio State doesn't play him. But still, somehow Florida, with the worst loss of all of those teams, is still going to be in a position to potentially leapfrog Clemson and maybe even A&M. A&M's going to have a game this weekend, a crossover game. I just can't see putting a team that doesn't win a conference championship in these 14 in these top 4 spots. That eliminates Texas A&M. That eliminates Florida State. And to me, the teams that should still be alive for that last spot are really Iowa State. If you're going to get a 2-loss team in there, Iowa State's the best one if they beat Oklahoma come Saturday. Or Cincinnati, who's undefeated. But they're just not going to give these group of 5 teams a chance. It's been proven over and over again. It happened a bunch of years ago, when TCU was undefeated and stayed in the top 4 through 4 or 5 ranking weeks. And then the last week, without losing a game, 2 teams jumped them. I believe it was Ohio State and Baylor. I don't think Baylor got in the playoff that year, but Ohio State jumped them with no validation. Guys, this is not the way to run a playoff. It's just not. I mean, this is as bad as the BCS has ever was. If you're going to do this, go back to the old freaking poll systems, right? Where you have split champions, whatever. This is just nonsensical. That we're set up now to have 2 teams that didn't even make one team. Well, 2 teams, if you want to count Georgia still in there. 2 teams mathematically alive to get to the Final Four without even reaching their conference championship game. If you want to go to my 16-team playoff, I'm okay with that. And again, that can be tweaked any way you want it. You can say no 2-loss teams can get in, no 3-loss teams can get in, and then the at-larges, whatever. The only teams that can get in with 2 or 3 losses would be conference champions, and it's not going to happen that often. It's not like the NCAA, as I said last week. The way they've set this up, though, again, I'm just so beside myself that Florida, with this horrendous loss, I hate repeating myself, guys, but I can't say it enough. What a horrible loss to LSU, and Florida now stays in contention. If they beat somehow Alabama by a touchdown, Alabama's in. Florida rather, could get in. If Clemson loses, they'll probably jump them. Crazy. Can't happen this way, guys. Can't happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying my system's the only way. You can go to 8 teams. You can go to some variation of, what one of my dissenters posted last week about only the undefeated teams get considered. Maybe if there's all undefeated teams, you let all of them play off, and the number varies every year. I don't know. I don't claim to have an answer other than the one I gave you last week, which I really like a lot, to be honest with you. 16 teams, 10 automatics, 6 at large. You could put some restrictions on the at larges and nobody gets in. Georgia doesn't get in with 3 losses. A runner up in a group of 5 team league can't get in if they don't have X amount of wins. Whatever. I don't care what we do. There's got to be something better than what they're doing now, because again, you've got the possibility right now of 2 teams. Well, 1 team for sure. Texas A&M is sitting here with a possibility of sliding in there this week. I think they're playing Tennessee this week. They're going to kill them. If Florida somehow beats, or if Alabama whips up Florida, Clemson or Notre Dame beats Clemson, 2 losses now to the same team for Clemson. Texas A&M could get in there without winning, not even playing in the conference championship game. Florida's still alive if they were to somehow manage to beat Alabama, which isn't going to happen. But you've left them in position to get there. Shouldn't be there. To me, the rankings this week should be out. And then you got the whole Ohio State issue, right? With the Big Ten. Obviously, they're one of the 4 best teams in the country on paper. But their resume is not that good, guys. They have only played 5 games. They will have played 6, while the rest of them have played 11. All the teams they're competing with played 11 games. Will have played 11 games after this weekend. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm okay with Alabama. Alabama's in, win or lose. I'm great with that. I think Notre Dame should be in, win or lose. Unless they get beat by 50. Clemson should have to win to get in. Ohio State, don't know. I think Iowa State should be right now up there, probably 5th. I think Cincinnati should be 6th. And those 2 teams are the only teams outside the top 4 right now that should have any consideration in my mind. Unless something crazy happens. Cincinnati loses their playoff championship game, obviously. Iowa State loses their championship game. Well, they should be eliminated. Now that brings open other possibilities. Now you bring Florida back into play, obviously, if they win. There's a lot of things can happen. If you get a couple upsets this weekend, if Florida beats Alabama, Cincinnati loses, Iowa State loses, Clemson beats Notre Dame, Clemson loses to Notre Dame. There's all kinds of scenarios. Some of them aren't going to be very palatable for a lot of people. Again, Texas A&M, who doesn't even play in their championship game, has got a very good chance, if things break right, to get in this Final Four. They're not one of the best 4 teams in the country. And under a 4-game system, they don't deserve to be in a playoff. They deserve to be in a 16-game playoff, 16-team playoff. I don't know, guys. My vlog today was going to be about the Heisman Trophy, which I'll do next week. Hopefully, I may be going off about this again. I don't know. But I'm just trying to elicit conversation. Please give me the feedback, just like you did last week. I had an awesome time going back with some of you, and I hope you took it in the spirit that it was intended. I'm trying to elicit conversation. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. I don't think this is right, though. And to be fair to any of the dissenters out there, I don't think any of them, if I remember correctly, thought this was a good way to go. What we're doing today. No. They all had a different plan, which is fine. Let's consider something different. This isn't working. This isn't working. So anyway, guys, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be snowed in here today and have a chance to chat with you guys. Took a little break from clearing some snow. Had a little bite to eat. I got 2 days off from work, and this is what I'm doing. Snow. And worrying about this stupid playoff, which is what is more fun for me, by the way, guys. I love chatting with you guys. I love the by-play you guys give me. Keep giving it to me. I'm going to try to make these vlogs entertaining and debate inspiring. That's what I hope to do with these. We'll get into a lot of stuff as we go forward. Heisman Trophy, more on this college football playoff, baseball. I got a lot of opinions about baseball and what's happening to baseball that we'll be talking about. So my whole goal is to elicit debate. Guys, if you enjoy these vlogs, please get to my website. Get to TGI Sports Talk on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter. But get to Facebook. Like and follow the page. Help me make this thing grow. I appreciate your groups for letting me post these vlogs and my shows, from my interview shows for Fridays and my Sunday recap shows. So I enjoy this. I hope you guys enjoy it. Please respond. Give me your feedback. Let's have some spirited debate. Let's have some fun this weekend. There's going to be some great college football games. We're going to have lots of fun. And hopefully we aren't angry at the end of the day and we get the best 4 teams even if it's by accident. Keith Engel, TGI Sports Talk. See you tomorrow morning with my guest, Todd Stottlemyre. Bye bye.